Happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy your weekend coming up. And today, I want to go over this sad case. This is probably going to be one of the last videos that I cover on this, attached to Anna Walshe. And I apologize for not pronouncing her name correctly at the beginning. One of my struggles, guys, is names and places, but we got it corrected. This is what you need to know right now on this case, because it's just the longer it goes, the more insane the information is coming out on her husband, Brian Walshe. Anna is originally from Serbia. She was 39 years old. She married her husband, Brian, which we'll go into details maybe another time. And they come to the States, where Brian's lived most of his life in Massachusetts. Anna, however, is an executive at a property management group. On January 1st, she's called in to deal with an emergency at one of her properties, but she never returns home. It wasn't until January 4th that authorities are alerted to this. We were told that her boss was initially the first one to report her missing, but now we're hearing it might have been a few co-workers as well. Brian Walshe has since been arrested, providing false information in the timeline and of his actions attached to the disappearance of his wife. And so there was a lot of speculation as to what was going on December 31st through January 1st. But now you have a few people coming out of the woodworks that are giving us ideas and of who her husband is, Brian Walshe. The other day, Daily Mail actually shared some information. There is this, what they call, ominous letter or note left for her husband Brian on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It's written on a champagne box, words written in red marker, alongside 3 neatly lined up bottles of AH Reserve whiskey. The liquor sales were around $3,000 per bottle. This doesn't seem odd, since we know that Brian does have the taste for the finer things in life. We've also learned that Brian has a lot of questionable characteristics showing up in documents shared by close friends or relatives. Since Anna's disappearance, we have learned that investigators have found a lot of items that suggest that something foul is involved in the disappearance of Anna Walshe. Police have found DNA residue in the basement of the couple's home, also a knife that seemed to have residue on it, and it was also damaged. Investigators actually use GPS information and surveillance to map out his steps. It led them to a few landfills where they found a hatchet, a residue-soaked carpet, and a hacksaw, among there's several other items. These items are believed to be attached to this case. Investigators learned that he had actually searched on the internet how to dispose of a 115-pound body. When this story first broke, we didn't hear much about it. I think it took the world by surprise, even the friends. Stories like this always take headlines, simply because of the mysterious aspects about it. One of Anna's friends, Pamela, said, quote, "My stomach went upside down," end quote. Many people just not believing that this was real. But in documents and affidavits coming out, submitted in by the father's nephew, or Brian's father, give you a peek of what the family thought about Brian Walshe. The nephew actually describes Brian as dishonest, a very angry and physically violent person. That may explain that ominous smile that we seen while he was walking in handcuffs. Things are starting to make more sense. Now, there's the word psychopath being used to describe Brian. Where that's originally coming from, I'm not certain. Some say that he was diagnosed, but friends are also describing him as a psychopath. But there's something I noticed about Anna in my research. She knows that her husband is on house arrest for stealing 2 Andy Warhol paintings. She understands that he's on the outs with his own family. Even so, she continues to encourage him and support him, inspire him, which is a sign of a lot of love. For me, my investigation has led me to believe that Anna absolutely adored this man, but it was also a lot of work to love him. Brian being on house arrest made it difficult for him to go and easily whenever he wanted to on vacations. Even going to the store for a loaf of bread was taxing. Anna, as you can see here, she often did whatever she could to help her husband thrive in life, even assisting Brian at times with workshops, even speaking. Just before Anna went missing, she had made reservations to meet a friend after rescheduling it January 5th. We learned that she had reached out to her mother, wanting her desperately, asking her to leave her home in Serbia immediately to come visit her. Since then, the mom believes that this was a cry for help. And it makes you wonder if mom knew the complete background of Brian, because now we're learning that Brian had actually threatened Anna's life and a friend. But that didn't stop her from marrying this guy. And every day that goes by, reporters are digging out more and more information on this couple. The harder they dig, the more darkness we're seeing, which is attached to Brian. However, we're seeing that Anna, well, she was a wife that loved him and adored him more than anything in this world. And she would do anything to help him thrive. Anna spent a lot of time trying to help her husband get out of the trouble he got into. Let's go over tidbits of the letter she wrote about her husband. It clearly states that she understands who he is and his demons. She says that he has emotional trauma which was caused by his parents during his childhood. She even tried to convince them that Brian was actually regretful for his previous actions, referring to the fact that he was conning people and selling fake copies of the Andy Warhol paintings, and that her husband was rehabilitated by emotional intelligence training. And if you look at this picture closely, this one of Brian Walshe smiling, there was no rehabilitation. He was just scamming his own wife. There's absolutely no concern about his wife's whereabouts. Even worse, his children, who are now in the state's custody, and people are battling to keep the kids together. Their children are ages 2 up to 6. They have 3. Natasha Skye is one of Anna's friends that are trying to fight this legal process to gain custody of the 3 kids. She says there are 2 families who have had play dates over and over already. There are 2 families who are willing to adapt and take all 3 boys together. Right now, there are pictures surfacing claiming that Anna might have been dealing with domestic violence the entire marriage. It was on May 21st of 2018 that she changed a caption. She wrote, "Mild concussion, bruised hip, and a cut." She edited this caption just, I think they're saying, probably 35 weeks ago, 2 weeks before submitting the letter to Judge Douglas Woodlock. Her main goal was to help Brian stay out of jail. So let me go over this letter with you a little bit more in detail. So this letter was sent on June 1st of 2022. My mother suffered a major health event which caused heavy hemorrhage. Not only did he save her life, but he also brought her and the entire family comfort and joy during the course of her illness. Brian has been working consistently on breaking the past habits of his family, and we are all looking forward to the new chapter in his life. You can read this entire article at Fox, and it's by Adam Sabes. And as you can see on this photo, there is a cut above her eye. So, most of us know that domestic violence victims, well, they only want to see the good side And they want to forgive and forgive and forgive, believing that change is coming. But those of you in domestic situations, I promise you, change isn't coming. You need to love yourself, protect yourself. So as this case keeps going on and on and on, and we're still not seeing any charges that we believe should be attached to this case, well, you can believe that investigators, with what they found so far, they've got their hands full putting together whatever they need to do to bring justice for the friends and the family of Anna. Right now, friends are asking people to donate to help them with their battle with the kids, and also to fly Anna's mother to the States. And I'm going to put up the entire letter here that I can find and let you guys read over and, find your own ideas or come to your own conclusions. My concerns are this: is Anna, she told police back in 2014 that someone threatened to kill her and her friend. This happened in Washington, D.C., and that someone was confirmed to be her husband, Brian Walshe. And, we're trying to think, what in the world would make a woman capable of going back to someone that makes such incredibly evil threats? And I bet we're going to see a few friends that might come forward and share a little bit more information on the background of this couple. Until then, we're all hoping that Anna is brought home safe. But a lot of people believe that is not the scenario. It's not the case. And that it's just a matter of time. This case has really broke my heart because her heart was so beautiful and his was so dark. This is a man that would cut the throat of his own family to gain a very selfish, dark individual, in my opinion, based off of what we know at this time. I don't get it. Most of us don't get it, why such a beautiful woman with a good heart would be taking or smitten with such a dark guy. Anyways, guys, don't forget, I've got to go right now. We have cases out there that are still not solved. There are girls that haven't come home. People, especially my Jasmine Robinson, please take a moment today to share her story, share her face at least. I want to send my love out to all the families, friends, and victims who are hurt from cases just like Anna's. And I also want to say to those of you who are dealing with domestic violence, it's not easy, but you can love yourself enough to get out of this. And you can love your kids even more. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe to help us out. At least tell YouTube that, we're worth watching. And you can donate to my Patreon at Chasing a Murderer. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.